People scare better when they're dying. Wee doggies, what's up, everybody? I hope you're having a great Monday evening. I know I am. Welcome to this, the Spaghetti Western Jamboree. Even this is a little live stream I like to do every week on Mondays, Monday evenings, talking about one of my passions, which is, of course, the spaghetti western, as it's popularly known, also known as the Euro Western, also known as the Italo Western. Gee, man, what can I say? I love this genre so much. I have pretty much all my life, and now is really the best time ever to be a spaghetti western fan, because, man, used to be like when I was a kid, I fell in love with these movies the same way everybody else did, which was to say, through the Dollars trilogy, right? Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the Leone movies, right? Because those were the ones that they showed on TV when I was a kid. And if you were lucky, you might catch The Mercenary and A Minute to Pray, A Second to Die. Otherwise, though, you didn't see a lot of these on TV when I was growing up. When I discovered that there was a wider world, that there were literally hundreds of these movies, I became ecstatic, as any Italo Western fan would. And tonight we're going to be talking about a seminal film, really, in the subgenre, which is God Forgives, I Don't, from 1967 by Giuseppe Colizzi. And wow, this is not the first movie that features Bud Spencer and Terence Hill in the same film. They had both appeared in a movie called Hannibal before this, but this is the first movie in which they're paired as a duo. And this was such a success, they went on to do two more. A lot of people think of the Trinity films as the beginning of the Bud Spencer, Terence Hill partnership. But no, you'd be wrong. They did three movies before. I basically refer to these movies as the Cat Stevens and Hutch trilogy. And they consist of God Forgives, I Don't. After that, Ace High, which I believe was made the next year. And then the year after that, Boot Hill. And they're all great movies. I actually think both of the sequels are better than this. But, whenever you're talking about a series of films, you never start with one of the sequels. You always start with the first one. And this is not a bad movie by any stretch. It's not perfect. It's Khaleesi's first film. I think it could have maybe stood being trimmed by maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. 10 minutes, I would say. 10 minutes, right? Because it does kind of meander a little. Not that it's not constantly entertaining, because it is. And obviously it has some great, great, great performances by our guys, Bud Spencer and Terence Hill, who, if you have never heard of them, guess what? They were, for a time, pretty much the biggest movie stars in the world. That is to say, they were an international sensation. Pretty much ruled the world everywhere except the United States, right? And everywhere else, they were just, box office gold. And Spencer and Hill went on to do, I think a total of 18 movies together. How crazy is that? 18 films. That's a very, very long and storied partnership. Hey, Patrick, what's up? Thank you so much for hanging out. Yeah, if you can tell, my background is looking a little Spartan. Sorry about that, folks. I am in the process of packing stuff up, getting ready to sell this place and move. And that involves a lot of packing. And so I've been inhaling a lot of dust this past week. Anyway, before we get to the movie, let me take a quick look at our sponsor, which is my comic, Six Gun Gorilla, Long Days of Vengeance. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. The link should be below in the description. Let me bring that up. If you like comic books, if you like Westerns, if you like Western comic books, if you like Western comic books about a gunslinging gorilla on the Vengeance Trail, this is the book for you. This campaign is for issues 9 and 10 and the volume 2 trade paperback. However, if you are brand new to the world of Six Gun Gorilla, don't worry, I got you. You can buy the previous trade paperback, which collects issues 1 through 6, or you can get issues 1 through 8 as floppies. And also, right here, you can click on free digital download, and you can download the entire first issue as a PDF completely free of charge. Why? Because I have confidence in my product. What can I say? Everybody loves this book. That's not me being braggadocious, as I always say. It's just the truth. People really connected with this book in a way I did not expect them to. And here you can read some of the great reviews that I got, including one from the legendary Mike Barron, who said it was majestic, and one by my man Joe R. Lansdale, who you might be familiar with if you're a Western fan, especially if you're a weird Western fan. And he said, it don't get much better than this, pal. A rootin' tootin' six-gun shooting Western adventure that makes you run off at the adjectives. Wonderful stuff. Wow. I can't tell you how happy I was when I got that message from him. I was like, oh my God. Because, it's, what can I say? When you get the approval of your heroes, that is something special. Let me actually do something I don't normally do, which is show you the trailer, because it's just a minute long. And then after that, of course, we will get to tonight's movie. God forgives. I don't. But yeah, here, check it out. This is the short trailer. This is the metal trailer for Six Gun Gorilla: Long Days of Vengeance. Yeah, so go check that out, people. If you want to support this stream, if you want to support what I'm doing here, that's the best way you could possibly support me. And you'll get what I guarantee is a kick-ass comic book as well. Anyway, now that I got the shilling out of the way, let's talk about tonight's movie, which is, of course, God Forgives. I don't. Wow. This is, as I said, the very first pairing of Bud Spencer and Terence Hill as a duo, as a big screen duo. And as I said, they would go on to do 18 films together. Let's take a look at some of the posters here. It's one of the things I always like to do also on my horror stream on Saturdays is I love looking up movie posters. That's a pretty good one right there. One of the things that's really interesting is, wow, I think this is Greek or Turkish or something. I think that's Greek. What's funny about this one is you could tell they did something to Terence's eyes here to make him look goofier. Because guess what? Bud Spencer and Terence Hill, not goofy in this. Certainly not Terence. This was at a time when Terence Hill was kind of in the same mold as Franco Nero. That is to say, he was really good looking, he had striking blue eyes, and he played these characters. Well, this character who went on to become very famous, Cat Stevens. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, you might know that there was a pop star called Cat Stevens who changed his name later to Yusuf Islam. And it just so happens that he came out with his first record as Cat Stevens the year that this came out. Yeah, that's where he got his name from, was from this movie. And he's absolutely terrific in it, of course. Bud Spencer, absolutely terrific in it. But man, right off the bat, you got that chemistry. And I think Terence Hill said it best when he said that on-screen duos are very rare because they're not something that can be manufactured. There's either chemistry there or it's not. If you've ever seen a leading man and a leading lady who have chemistry, you've noticed it. Whenever you've seen a leading man and a leading lady that didn't have chemistry, you almost certainly noticed it. And it's one of those things. You can't fake the funk. There was just something about these guys that they played well together. And they contrasted each other very nicely. Coepp originally started out as he was an acolyte of Sergio Leone's. And he started out as a novelist, an academic. I think he was also a critic. And when he made this, he was structuring the story like an Aesop fable. And the original title of God Forgives I Don't was The Cat, the Dog, and the Wolf. Right? So who's the cat? Cat Stevens, of course. Who's the dog? It's Hutch. That is to say, Bud Spencer's character. Because he's, big, heavy set, hairy, short-tempered. He's wearing this shaggy wool coat that, looks like fur or hair. And then the wolf is played by Frank Wolf, coincidentally. A character playing a character named Bill San Antonio, who's very smart, very savvy, very cunning, but like the wolf in the Aesop's fables, a little too self-assured, a little too self-confident, and somebody that overreaches himself. If you're expecting your usual Bud Spencer, Terence Hill movie, this is not it. That is to say, if you are coming into this from the point of view of somebody that knows Bud Spencer and Terence Hill from the Trinity movies, from all of the slapstick comedies that they made in the 70s and the early 80s, my goodness, man. This is a straight up Western, and the way it opens is really, really dark. Very, very dark. It opens with this really wonderful scenic shot. And there's the title in Italian, of course, Di Perdona Io Nio. Io no. Sorry, my Italian pronunciation isn't that great. But yeah, really beautiful photography here. This is, of course, is not the American West. This is Almeria, Spain, where most of the great spaghetti westerns were shot. And so we've got this lovely shot of a steam engine coming down the tracks. We've got this swelling music by Bruno Nicolai. It's a score that's actually very old-fashioned. Like, you can honestly say that this is a score this is one of the few spaghetti scores that isn't imitating Ennio Morricone at all. And this is, a post-Fistful of Dollars movie, right? Fistful of Dollars came out in 1964. This is 1967. And there is something very old-fashioned about this movie. You can tell that Coepp had a lot of love for the Western genre, as, so many Italians and so many people world over did, having grown up with Westerns. And, we've got this lovely shot of this beautiful old steam engine, and then we are at the train station, where there's a band, and there's they're they're welcoming their new justice of the peace, and they got the brass band out there and everything, and then something very strange happens, which is to say the train doesn't stop. It crashes into a barrier, and so they go and open the engineer's door, and the engineer drops out with a bullet hole in his head. And then they proceed to check the rest of the train, and all of the passengers have been brutally massacred. And it's a really stark, really chilling opening. It's this train that arrives with nothing but dead people on it. And Coepp suddenly starts hitting you with these quick cuts of shots of the victims, and it's really chilling. If like I said, if you're coming into this expecting like your usual Bud Spencer Terence Hill movie, you're in for a bit of a shock. It's a very stark opening. Well, it turns out that there is one survivor. He staggers away. I can't say that this is a plot-heavy movie. It's not. It also, I can't say that it's tightly plotted by any stretch of the imagination. What it is consistently entertaining. Story is very simple. You've got our man, Cat Stevens, played by Terence Hill, who's been framed by a man whom he believes that he had killed, who turns out to have not been killed, and who has faked his own death. But we'll get to that. The scene in which he's introduced is pretty badass. It's a card game, high stakes poker, and you see one of the poker players is reaching down to his ankle, and he's got a gun. That's never a good sign. And one of these fellows draws a pistol on him. They're basically letting him know, hey, you're putting all of your money in the pot, and we're not putting up a commensurate amount of money. They're basically planning on robbing him. And right off the bat, our first look at Cat Stevens, you could tell he's not fucking around. What can I say? Cat Stevens is a badass, is a really, really badass character. And then, of course, like in most films, when you're introducing the villain, you're showing how evil they can be, and also how formidable they can be. And then, of course, when you're introducing the hero, you're showing what a badass they could be. And he just whips out a dagger, boom, and knocks the gun out of this guy's hand and sends it spinning on the table, and boom, slams his hand down on it, and proceeds to get into a knockdown, drag-out brawl with these fools. And absolutely clears, wipes the floor with their asses, of course. and goes riding off into the sunset. Once again, absolutely beautiful cinematography in this. A real sense of love for the genre. You could tell it's paying a lot of respect to the films of John Ford. At the same time, it's still a Italian Western. So you can expect Italian Western stuff. Oh, Sim in the house. Sim in the house. What's up, brother, man?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
What's up, man? Good
How
to
you guys
see you.
Love the t-shirt.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's one of my heroes.
As I always say, this bud's for you. Yeah. What can I say, man?
I even grew up to look like him. Look.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Actually, my father was like a dead ringer for him.
My granddad. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was like a big, like bear kind of a guy. And whenever like my brother and I saw Bud Spencer, we were just like, look, it's Dad. It looks just like him. Now, having grown up in Canada, I'm guessing that the Bud Spencer Terence Hill movies were released theatrically there, because they weren't here in the United States. Did they play in movie theaters like when you were a kid?
Yeah, in French.
Ah, right.
Mm-hmm.
And
because they were translated in French first from Italy. It's one of the things with manga as well, like back in the days.
Yeah,
the French were very strong. Like nothing goes in without being translated in French. Like even
nice.
Quebec French needs to be translated in French.
No shit.
Yeah, they're very fucking picky about it. Like that's why when you look at right now, when you check movies,
yeah,
they're gonna say French and it's gonna say French Quebec.
Oh, I see. Kind of like
like I keep telling you guys, like the French from Quebec, it's like comparing American English to British English.
Right, like American.
So it's
American
the exact
to Queen's
same
English.
difference. It's the exact same difference. So it's more colloquial, it's more everything, and to them we're more Americanized.
Right, kind of like also you have
we were
you have
strong into cowboys like you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, but like it also makes you think of like the difference between Castilian Spanish and Latin American Spanish.
But if you look, like even the trope of the Mountie, right?
Yes.
He's just a police cowboy. Like that the entire like lore and everything about the Mountie they were technically cowboys, except they were working for the state. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. Dudley Do-Right, of course, the most famous Mountie here.
Like they were the original. Like they always get their men. Like they won't quit like until they get their men. Like they won't. No, they'll never get me. How do you know? But I've been running from the guy for like 25 years, and in comes the guy.
Yep. Yeah, man. Yeah. So they're like the Canadian version of like the Texas Rangers or something like that.
Like, but that's what I like. It's like it's what they put into Wolverine that made him Canadian in a way.
Yeah. I didn't even think about
the old sense of honor of being a Mountie type of thing. Like you never quit. Like you'll beat the motherfucker down. If you don't kill him, finish him off, he's gonna get back up and go after you again.
Yeah, which is I have to say one of my favorite.
And it's one of the biggest trope in westerns, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like, well, you fucked up.
The guy that barely survives being murdered or something gets back up, and then comes back and freaking comes for revenge.
Yep. Did you ever read that Punisher Wolverine crossover that Garth Ennis did, where like I think they fight like an army of dwarves or something? It's just completely nuts. It's Garth Ennis Punisher, right? And at the end, the Punisher just like parks a steamroller on Wolverine.
Yeah,
because he's just like, yeah, that should buy me some time.
Pretty much.
Castle, I'm gonna get you for this. Oh man, funny shit, man.
It's like I always like that move from Thor.
Yeah,
the movable hammer. So when you put somebody down, he puts the hammer on him and just walks off. I always love that move. It's similar thing. Man. Like, you know what?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna use this.
Yep.
Can't move it, so fuck off.
Yep. There's only like two people who could pick that up: me and Captain America.
Yeah, on his good days.
Yes. Well, in the comics.
But I'm saying as a joke, but it's not something you can do all the time. It's like a deus ex machina. When they decide it's useful, they use it, because otherwise, come on, what's the point?
Right. Well, it's one of those things. It's like you don't want to overdo it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to overuse it, because then it's just not as funny anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like repeating the same joke over and over again. God damn, man! I have to say, I was watching this last night, and it was making me Jones for a cigar.
But you want to know something that's funny for me?
Yeah.
It's I grew up watching them, thinking they were actually Americans.
Bud Spencer and Terence Hill?
Look, one, they changed their name to have Americanized
name. Yeah, they always did that.
Because it's not their real names. Yep. But when I found out they're Italians, I'm like, I still thought they were filming in English, and then later I discovered no, they never fucking really did anything in English. Only Terence Hill, I think he did one movie where he did his own dub.
Oh, he did a bunch of movies. He really encouraged Bud Spencer to learn English. But he said he never did, because Bud Spencer was up for some big parts. He was up for parts that usually went to the actor Paul Smith. For instance, they wanted him to play Bluto in The Pup, which would have been fucking epic.
Oh, dude, he's fucking. It's a thing. Like, you could say it's an ego thing of his. I don't know, or is Italian pride
or laziness.
But, dude, yeah, maybe. But it was a really stupid move, because that guy was huge.
People don't get it. Like, people don't. The interesting thing is that
I've seen every single fucking movie of that guy, and there's people around the goddamn world that know I've seen every goddamn movie of that guy. Like, a lot of people remember and go, "Oh yeah, I know Terence Hill." Terence Hill was the nobody.
My name is nobody.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He was the nobody. He was the little one. Like, compared to freaking Bud Spencer.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the reasons why Terence Hill moved away from, wanted to do more movies by himself, because he was shadowed by Bud Spencer in a way, overshadowed by him. Sorry, this question.
No, not at all. I mean, they did do movies by themselves.
Yeah, but they started by themselves. Then they did together. They were a great team. But then they split up for a little while, and then it was a big deal that they came back to do another freaking movie together, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, that was
they were a magic duo. They were like the new Laurel and Hardy. That's how they used to call them, because they could play serious roles and they could play like spoofs. It was comedy.
Yep. The interesting thing about like the name changes, I always thought, like, for instance, Giuliano Jama, for instance, he was like Montgomery something, like Montgomery Smith. They always had American names for the star and for the director too, right? For instance, Giuseppe Colizzi, in this he's called Frank Kramer. I always thought that they were changing the names to fool American audiences, but they weren't. They were actually changing the names to fool Italian audiences.
Yeah. The idea was to have a more marketable name. Like, I even considered changing the writing of my last name, Pletier, in the beginning, but everybody just calls me Sim, so I went with Sim. Like, ever since I've been in comic, everybody's a Sim. Hey, here's Sim. I'll go, well, I'm not gonna argue with the fact that people call me Sim.
Right. That's just what people call you. That's pretty much your name now. And you hope it's not a-hole or scumbag.
It's also the name of my business. Like, did I ever tell you that story? Because for here, I need to have a French and English name, right?
Right.
So I need to pick a name that can say in French and English. So I went like, okay, I'll go by Sim. She goes, but you can't just have Sim without a meaning. I'm like, okay, I'll put the art of Sim. She goes, but is he still like, because I can translate Sim to art to Sim to all the Sim, right?
Right.
And they're like, you can just pick a name and you can put a second name. I'm like, okay, fine. So put Art of Sim. I'm going to use Sim. And she goes, what does it stand for? Sequential Illustration Master.
Oh.
And you should have seen her face just when, like, did you just come up with that on the fly? Yep, I did, ma'am.
Damn, rapier sharp wit. God damn, man. That's freaking awesome. Oh man. Frankie, what up, Frankie? Frankie, of course, a guy who knows his Italian movies and Italian culture. He says Terence lives in Boston. Dude, if I walked down the street and I saw him, like, I would be starstruck. Like, he's like one of the people that if I met him in real life, I'd be like, holy shit. And dude is like in his late 80s. He just still looks good. It's like, what the fuck? That guy never ages, man. And yeah, he did some American movies. Did quite a few, actually. Not big ones. He did a solo movie called Super Cop that was released. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not Super Cop, Super Fuzz. Have you ever seen that?
Yep.
Awesome movie. Directed by the guy who did Django, actually.
I'm telling you, I watched all their movies. I was a big fan of both of them.
Still am. I got all that shit. So, some of those are pretty hard to watch, like The Sheriff and the Satellite Kid. That one's a little. To
me, Bud Spencer is like my uncle. Like I'm telling you, like my granddad. Like the technically, yeah. Okay, I'll just say granddad. I'm not gonna get into details. But he was technically a Bud Spencer type. Right. You know what I mean? Like big, like a big lovable bear. Like like very good with kids. But not a big talker,
right?
But yeah, and that's the type of the type of man I wanted to grow up to be. That's why I made the joke before, and Bud Spencer is the type of guy I look up to, and it's weird. Most of my like best friends in life end up being like Terence Hills.
No shit.
No, you have the talker. Like I'm not the big talker in a place. Like I can talk. Can you get me into like a discussion? Yeah, but I'm not the guy that's gonna keep a conversation going in a room all the goddamn time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just weird how it's like that joke they made in what's the name? Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that. The funny part is with life and experience, when you notice shit, there's a reason why there's those stereotypes, right? It's because the stereotypes are actually real. They can vary to certain degrees and shit like that. But you find a pack of friend. Well, you always have that guy, that stoner guy. You have that.
Yeah. I know the scene you're talking about. Yup. No, it's very true. It's very true. Also, I think that when you're a kid, the thing that you love about Bud Spencer is the fact that he is like this big cartoon character.
Yeah, and I love the fact that he's always been like, he's the guy that doesn't want to he doesn't want trouble. That's the thing. It's that the main thing with him is that you have him. That's like he just wants to be left alone, and he doesn't want to fight.
Yes.
But he ain't no fucking pussy.
No.
So when he has enough, he gets up, and I like the fact that it's by freaking piff paff, like full hand fucking slap bitch slap. Like he barely fucking punches. It's just.
Oh man.
And then you have Terence Hill. That's the guy. That's the antagonist. He's the one that's gonna look for trouble, get in fucking shit, and gets him in trouble.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, they had a formula.
Yeah.
Yep. They had a formula. And then some people I hear dissing on Terence Hill, basically saying that he was just like nothing without Bud Spencer. And I'm like, bullshit. There was a special synergy there. I think because when you look at their movies that they did solo, they're perfectly fine solo. It's just together. They just complemented each other in a really great way. And when I tell people that they were like the biggest movie stars in the world at that time, they're like, well, I never even heard of them. I'm like, that's because they were like the biggest movie stars in the world, except for the United States. Because here, of course, people don't want to watch movies that are dubbed, and they're not going to watch them with subtitles. I mean, what made Bud Spencer and Terence Hill movies so universally popular is the fact that they're slapstick, and slapstick translates to any language, right? Mm-hmm. People just getting smacked the fuck around. Like you look at the old Buster Keaton.
But that's the thing is,
Roland Hardy.
I enjoy a lot those slapstick ones, right?
Yeah,
but there's a point where they got the idea of they started taking this because the problem is at a certain point they were putting all the money on their chemistry and the energy that they were instead of the story around it, and everything became like a joke.
Yes.
Right. Even the surrounding, and that's not how it started. Because the idea when it started was very serious setting.
Yeah.
Them not so much.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it was them making the comedy. Was the interaction with them, how they were reacting to those other guys that were more serious.
Right. Like in the Trinity movies, they're in the universe of the Spaghetti West.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they seem like they've come from a different movie.
Exactly. And that was the thing with them, is the fact that those two guys together, they were technically unstoppable and they were different. And they, it's their way of being that made it like he had Terence Hill that was always the wisecracking motherfucker.
Yep.
He was literally he was the antagonist. The hero was technically Bud Spencer, because he's always the one.
Because he's reacting to the shit that Terence Hill's character has gotten him into.
And Terence Hill is always the one that needs to learn a fucking lesson in the freaking story.
Yep. Yeah, generally speaking.
Yeah, because technically Bud Spencer is technically the saloon Obi-Wan.
He's not the character who has an arc.
No.
He's pretty much
He's already at this point. He's already at this point where he's like, I just don't want trouble, and I just want to be able to do what I want to do, and just leave me alone.
Yep.
And you're gonna go at him. And he always applies the same thing of turning the other cheek. Like that's one of the things I always like. It's like you get slapped or there's something, and he goes, the face he does. They're grunt. He's like.
Yeah, dudes are like laying into him, like boom, 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 boom.
I'm gonna give you one last chance.
Yeah, man. He just, it's these movies are so much fun. Of course, everybody.
I remember being hyped as fuck when I found out that Terence Hill was playing Lucky Luke. The only problem is that they did the same thing as they did to Dolph Lundgren with Punisher.
Oh, they took away what it was that made that character instantly recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hate that.
He didn't have the clothing. He didn't even the hat was wrong. He didn't even have the fucking handkerchief. Is that what you call it? No, the to hide your face, like the burglar thing.
Yeah.
He didn't have the black vest.
Bandana.
The yellow shirt. Like he didn't even have nothing. That when you looked at him, oh, that's Lucky Luke.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry, they did him so fucking wrong, because the movie would have been so bad. Like it's stupid. It's not a bad movie. It's just shitty because it's not Lucky Luke. It's called Lucky Luke, and he looks exactly like that in that movie.
Right. It's kind of like you said with the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie. It's like, would it have killed them to put a fucking skull on his chest?
I know, right? Like, I'm sorry, even there, like, just do that, and people, because it breaks the immersion of it, because it's not the character you're watching. It's like, I'm supposed to be watching Punisher. Like, hey, here's Superman, but we're not gonna put the Superman on his chest.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, it's so stupid, but that's because
we're just gonna leave it on the belt. They're like, fucker.
Well, dude, they like, it's not even just on his belt. It's like on his like daggers. Like he has these daggers that have like it's like.
I was just trying to find something to compare with Superman. He doesn't have a knife.
Right.
And like you put it on the goddamn belt or something.
Ugh.
And didn't you see we left it engraved in the boot?
You're right. On the sole. Yeah. Right. It's just like, yeah, whatever. But he's got skull buckles on his boot. Right. Some stupid shit like that. Yeah. And even they've always had a problem with that skull. Even with Punisher Warzone, which has the best Punisher ever, right? Ray Stevens.
Yep.
Even there, like, the skull is muted because the director just like wanted to get rid of the skull. She thought it was stupid.
That's the reason.
Yeah, so they reached like a happy medium and just sort of muted it a bit, but he still has a fucking skull on his chest. Thank you. But yeah, the director didn't want that, so they're always trying to get rid of that skull for some reason. I guess because they think it looks silly or it looks too comic booky. But
it's too hardcore, and to me, it's more about what it represents more than anything else.
Well, I love this scene.
The skull represents death, and that's what it's supposed to be. He's the guy.
There's this great scene in the Daredevil versus the Punisher series that Eric Latham did. Eric Latham, the guy who wrote and illustrated Straight Bullets. He did this mini series that was like Daredevil versus the Punisher, and it was terrific. And there's a scene in that where the Punisher, and it's like the old Punisher from like the 1970s, like, with like the wavy hair, and he's like wearing like a jacket, and there's like a Russian gangster that's like terrorizing a waitress, and he just says, I just want to go up to him and open my jacket and show him the skull. Right? Because he knows when he does that, the guy's going to shit himself with fear. And,
I mean, it's one of the things, like in the movie that we're singing, I think it was Warzone, wasn't it?
Yes.
Dude, he was the perfect Punisher.
I know.
The look, how he acted, everything. But that woman, because I know it's a woman that directed it, she went over the top with all the other characters. It's insane.
I mean, I do love Dominic
the
West.
Crazy brother, like the crazy bro. He's way too crazy. Like, I'm sorry, like it breaks everything. Like, I'm sorry, like or the Jamaican guy with the French parkour.
Yes.
Like, it's just the way that it's made. It's so corny, cheesy, over the top. That
too much
ruins
CGI,
the entire
blood
movie.
and gore too.
And that scene with the mom, god damn, it's horror. It's fucking shit.
Yeah.
When she takes the gun out, like I understand the scene,
right?
But it's so shitty that it has it's not even fucking funny. So
I know.
I blame everything on the director, to be quite honest, because I think that the story wise, it was there was something solid in there.
Oh, for sure.
But it has to me, it's the rendering and everything at the end, and I think that he was done wrong because we should already be at the third movie with that motherfucker.
But
let's be honest here, like we should like he was fucking awesome. Like the setting, the casting was pretty goddamn sweet. Even though I think usually she's a better actress. Like, I'm not even taking a hit at the actress. Right. I'm just saying usually she sells she's good in what she plays, but in that scene. No, it's like she got forced to do a scene she didn't want to do. You know what I mean? That's how it feels on that porch scene.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty bad. Frankie says, I don't know if he still goes back and forth to Italy and Boston. I got friends in Boston. I have to ask them if they've ever seen Terence Hill walking down the street. Oh my God, I'd shit myself. He's also half German. Yeah, actually. Interesting thing about Terence Hill was his name was Girotti, Mario Girotti, and his father was Italian and his mother was German. He was born in Venice, but when World War II broke out, his mother was like, well, let me send you someplace safe, like during World War II and all the bombing and everything. So she sent him to stay with his relatives, with her family, who lived in Dresden. He survived the Dresden bombing, the largest mass slaughter of human beings in human history. That blows my mind. Dresden.
Worse than the Acadians and the Indians.
Oh no,
natives.
No, I'm not talking about genocide. I'm talking about like in one go.
Okay.
I'm talking about like one
like
big massacre.
Okay.
Yeah, like one big massacre. That's the biggest massacre in human history. That's where all the hospitals were. That's why they thought it was safe, and it was pretty horrific. Giuliano Gemma actually had a bomb go off in his face. That is to say, he was like a little kid and he was like running around in the fields and he came across an unexploded American bomb. and it went off in his face. And son of a bitch, it left a scar on his cheek, and it just made him like more handsome. Just like motherfucker, man. But yeah, as for Bud Spencer, he was born Carlo Pedrosoli, and he was an Olympic swimmer from Naples, Napoli. And I know that he was like butthurt over the fact that the year that he was in the
he was swimming, then he did some if I'm not mistaken, he was strongman training, and that was it. I'm not sure about.
Right.
It's something I remember from an interview that he did. He didn't do bodybuilding. He did strongman training,
like powerlifting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like the strongmen that they had in the circus back then.
The same training I did.
Yeah, I mean, he was a
barrel heavy tryers, pushing trucks, and all that.
Yeah. The stuff that you see, those big Norwegian giants like Magnus Ver Magnusson doing, like picking up like refrigerators and shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And Frankie says, my parents are big fans of the Don Matteo series. I really enjoyed those too, at least the ones that I saw. And from 2000 to 2022, that's insane. Frank Grillo, I agree. Really anybody but fucking that last guy who everybody loved, but me, I suppose.
Which one?
From the TV series and
I'm not crazy about him.
Oh, dude, what I can't.
I thought he did an okay job in the Daredevil series.
You're right,
but I was like, they could have done better. Like you didn't. I don't know.
But people loved him.
But in the series, it was shit.
Well, here's my problem with that version
and I'm
of the
big
Punisher
fan,
dude. I can honestly say I was a Punisher fan before it was cool, because I got to get all of the Punisher appearances in the comics when they were dirt cheap. Dirt fucking cheap. And then Mike Zeck started drawing the character like crazy.
I had 2 copies of the first appearance of the Punisher until my little brother decided to color one and do a collage with the second. Oh,
don't tell me that. Oh, that hurts. Oh God!
Yeah, the Spider-Man issue.
Stamps, man.
That Spider-Man issue with the first appearance of the Punisher.
Yes. I had that. I had. I remember reading that as a kid. Like my brother had it, and what immediately caught me about the character was the fact that he was dressed like a supervillain, but he wasn't wearing a mask, and that told me that he gave 0 fucks.
Yeah, I love the black on white. The white on black costume. Like I thought it was just so like awesome. And he's black and white. There's no gray area. It's black and white.
Nope. And he's not. And he's wearing.
If you make it on this list because you did something bad enough that you deserve to fucking die, and there's no changing that guy's mind.
No, definitely not. Once he's got it in his mind to get you, that's your ass. But I remember thinking, like, that was crazy that he was wearing, like, a supervillain costume, because he started out as a Spider-Man villain. A lot of people don't know that. But he wasn't wearing a mask, so it was just like he didn't care if people knew who he was. Which basically meant that he was that guy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Like, I remember people complaining about I forget his name right now, but the guy that played Punisher before Warzone.
Oh, Thomas Jane.
A lot of people complain about him.
He was
didn't look too much of a tough guy, but dude,
kind of a pretty boy.
I think he played him. He did a great job playing him, and way better cast than Berthal.
Way. Yeah, no, my problem with Bernthal's performance is that he is like a jock's idea of the Punisher, and the Punisher is supposed to be a cold-blooded killer. Whereas Bernthal's like,
the only thing I don't like from that movie, the Punisher movie, I don't like the change they did, how they, instead of being an accident, it's a murder of his entire fucking family and running over his. Thought that was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I really like it. The director's cut's even better. It would have been great. It would have been great if they had shot that intro sequence where we get where it's established that he's a badass, right? Because when the movie opens, he's like an FBI agent. It's like, what?
Yeah,
but yeah, to me, part of the character's origin was always really important. Was that it was random, that it was just wrong place, wrong time.
And that people didn't do shit.
Yes, and that there was no justice, and that he was, because he waits for the legal system to do its thing, and it doesn't do anything, and he snaps.
And even if they know exactly who it is or nothing, people got paid, people got shut up because of corruption. Yep. And they try to kill him again, and then that's how it goes to Punisher mode.
Yes. I mean, look, I always thought that the best director for a Punisher movie would have been John Woo. To me, that is what a Punisher movie should be like. It should be like a Hong Kong bullet ballet. But I don't know that we're ever going to get a really good Punisher movie.
If right now, I would probably try and give it to somebody like, I don't know, Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just, I don't
action wise and tone wise, I think there's not many that I think right now would do a Punisher right. I'm sorry,
I agree with you. Yeah, it's I've given up any hope of ever getting like a proper Punisher movie or a TV series. A TV series would be great, but they don't believe in doing done in one stories, because that would be a perfect character for done in ones. Right, but everything has to be about continuity and all that crap. I mean, they did some done in one.
I've been saying it for a long time that the biggest problem with Marvel and DC is that they should do in miniseries instead of just always ongoing everything.
I agree, and I don't understand why there isn't like a Batman TV series.
Okay, we got a story that's gonna take 25 issues, so let's go. And then there's like, we got a miniseries right here.
Right. Yeah, no, that'd be great. And shit. I mean, I would love, like a TV Batman. Fucking what's his face would be perfect for that. I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden. He was in Accident Man, which was a adaptation of a Pat Mills comic book, actually. Yeah, it's just blanking on this stuff.
I'm there. Sorry, my kid came in and talked at the same time, so I didn't want to.
Oh, it's okay.
Just so you don't think that I just left.
Oh, it's okay. Scott Adkins, that's what I'm thinking of. Scott Adkins would be fucking perfect for like a TV Batman.
Fuck, I mean, how great? No.
How great? How great?
Fuck you. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
No, because he has to play Vincent. Fuck you. If he's doing one character, he's doing fucking Vincent.
Because the guy's a great actor. He looks like Ben Affleck. Right?
But I wonder
if he could actually do the fucking fight scenes. How great would it be to see?
Wouldn't it be great? But he has a fucking big accent. Can he hide it? I don't know.
Frankie's right. Like the people that do the John Wick movies would do a great Punisher movie. I mean, I didn't like the first one. The first John Wick didn't do anything for me, and then a friend of mine, convinced me to watch 2, and I loved it. And and I thought 3 was great. I haven't seen 4, but like 2 and 3 they're like proper like Hong Kong style action films. Great, awesome fight choreography, great shootouts, all that shit. Also, I like the fact that they were doing some world building, that it got more and more fantastic, more pulpy, more comic booky, right? That like you've got the secret organization that like that seems to be everywhere, right? Where the homeless guy is an assassin, or he's linked to that underworld of assassins. All that shit I thought was really quite wonderful.
It had a bit of that James Bond feel.
Yeah, for sure.
He goes to a suit store.
Yes,
and it's it's armor, and you can get guns. You're like, that's fucking awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, I actually really enjoyed those. But yeah, I agree. They would do a great Punisher movie for sure. But I doubt we will ever actually fucking get that. sad to say. Sim,
the guys that did Deadpool.
I liked Deadpool. I wasn't crazy about it the way a lot of people were. But then again, I've never been really crazy about that character.
But the way they respected that character, I think
for sure.
I think they would also do a good job.
Yeah, I mean, well,
so what was the question you were going to ask?
I don't know. Oh, I was gonna ask. Have you seen this movie? God Forgives, I Don't, or have you seen any of the original Cat Stevens Hutch trilogy?
Like I said, I've seen everything with Bud Spencer and Terence Hill. So yeah, I've seen this movie.
Okay.
Not if I've watched it lately, no.
Okay. Because
I wanted to watch it before the stream, but no, and then I've been stuck on rewatching the Venture Brothers. Sorry.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I love that freaking series. Especially, man, the Fantastic Four episode. Oh my god! Holy shit, man! Holy shit!
I love that series. Yeah, I'm at season 3 or 4 now.
Yeah. Oh man, so good. And what's funny is that whole thing is like a spoof of Johnny Quest.
Yep.
And people that don't even know anything about Johnny Quest still find it funny. Although I think if you know Johnny Quest, you're going to find it like that much more hilarious. Let me see. Oh yeah, Frankie
it's a parody of everything. That's what I like about it.
Well, Wick 1 is an intro to the world, so it was paced differently from the others. My opinion. Yeah, no, I mean, the first John Wick is basically an American, like a Hollywood version of the Man from Nowhere, which is like a Korean movie, a South Korean movie.
But technically, it's a very basic, normal revenge story.
Right, but with a definite kind of like a South Korean approach. Although, of course, what I love about the sequels is they bring in the Salat brothers, the guys that did the choreography for The Raid. I mean, the new one I think has not only Scott Adkins, it's got my man Donnie Yen in it, and Mark Dacascos was in 3. I just love the fact that they're bringing in like these martial arts movie cats to I mean, shit. Scott Adkins is wearing a fat suit. I want to see him fight with a fat suit in 4. But
they made him into an European kingpin.
Yeah. But oh man, I mean, he's definitely a Sammo Hung fan, so I'm wondering if he's doing any nods to Sammo Hung in that. So for those of you that don't know, Sammo Hung was like the fat man of kung fu movies, who was like fat but could just like move like greased lightning. So you'd see like this fat guy that would like do flips and shit over tables, and oh man, just absolutely amazing. And I've always been a martial arts movie fan. But yeah, maybe those people would do a good Punisher movie, but the Punisher belongs to Disney now, and Disney is basically shitting on. they don't want to make money, They don't want to make money. They're not about turning a profit. They're about like activism or psyops or some shit.
I need to find me a director that wants to do a Blood Hunt movie.
Oh, that would be great, dude. Animated would be great.
Yeah, animated would be awesome. But
both. Let's take a quick look at the trailer for this. For God Forgives, I don't.
Don't wait in the long run. Even if you're a lot faster than me, my man will make you pay.
Yeah, this is Cat Stevens having a flashback to the night where Bill San Antonio fakes his death, which he goes about doing in a very elaborate manner.
And there's an awful lot of them, pretty face.
You never saw him before?
Never. Ain't often you meet a type like that.
Yeah. I wouldn't call this a spoiler, but...
No, you know him, huh?
Badass. That's the knife throwing scene that I mentioned before. Check this out. Booyah!
Yeah, I think so.
So it's like you can see that Bud Spencer is doing his usual Bud Spencer, right? As Frankie was saying, he's basically the straight man.
Yep.
But here, Terence Hill,
he's always the good old reliable. You know what I mean? Like he's that. Yeah.
The Rock.
He's the papa. He's the big brother. You know.
Yep. The anchor of the of the team.
He's the one I'm looking for. A week ago, the MK&T train was by.
And you know, another thing I think is great to mention about these movies back then.
Yeah.
Back when you had actors that didn't speak languages.
Yes.
It was fun because the fun part is they had their assigned actors, voice actors. They never fucking changed. Bud Spencer's guy was Bud Spencer's guy, Terence Hill. So nobody actually thought that they actually thought that they spoke language because they never changed.
Right. They were always consistent. And whenever I've seen an actor that's dubbed by a different voice actor, I'm like, wait a second, that's not his voice, even though I know it's not the actor's original voice.
Because it's the same thing here. Like, you know, like it's always the same actor that's going to do the voice of Bruce Willis. You know what I mean? Yep.
Yeah, you need that that consistency.
$100,000 in gold. How many people?
So yeah, there's that. Just the beginning of this is so macabre. I'm just like, because hold on a sec. Let me bring this up, because when Bud Spencer and Terence Hill went on to become, you know, such a lucrative comedy duo, they re-released this movie trying to make it look like it's a comedy. Like, look at this. Like, does that look like your average like Bud Spencer Terence Hill movie right there? It's even the Bud Spencer and Terence Hill collection.
Yeah, and the way that the fonts and stuff like that reminds me like Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Right. So imagine it's like you're going in expecting pretty much like a kid's movie or a kid-friendly movie, and then you get this.
How many people do you know capable of?
Oh, okay. They didn't show the like all the dead bodies. A train full of dead people with like bullet holes in their heads and shit.
I always thought that jacket was fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, man. It is. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I said, the original title for this was The Cat, the Dog, and the Wolf. So Terence Hill is the cat. Guess who's the dog?
Our fancy friend Bill, San Antonio.
Since when have dead men started going around robbing trains?
I ain't saying I know how things went with you two a year ago, Cat. But one thing's sure, Bill's alive.
Why are you so interested in it?
Yeah, this is the flashback sequence.
The voice acting is not so great.
Yeah, well,
it's the first time watching in English.
Right. And these are also not their usual voice actors. Because for the English dubs too, well, first of all, Terence Hill would do the English dubs, right? He learned English pretty quickly. So did Franco Nero. Franco Nero would always dub his own voice as well.
Business.
The Herald Bank took out a policy for the whole amount against its safe arrival. I work for the insurance company.
Yeah, Hutch in this is like an insurance agent, basically. And so he's after Bill San Antonio because he robbed that train, killed all those people, and made off with like $100,000 in gold. But Cat Stevens, Terence Hill's character, is after Bill San Antonio just for like fucking straight up revenge, because he framed him for basically stealing like the gang's money. And so he basically left him in a situation where everywhere he went, he had people trying to kill him.
You haven't changed a bit, you old jackass. Be quiet.
Yeah, some great iconic shots, great Western shots of Almeria, Spain.
Be quiet, Rose. No one's going to cut your throat. I just want to get a piece of information.
But as you can see, Bud's a Terence Hill being very un-Terence Hill-like. Right? Playing this character completely straight.
How do you like that? Here I was thinking you'd come for me.
I asked you a question.
And you got my answer.
Do you know what I think?
Yeah, like for instance here, he looks a lot like Franco Nero. And in fact, he played Django in a movie called Django Prepare a Coffin, which actually I have another clip that I'll show after this.
Dead man.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, what I love is like when they got Cat Stevens hanging by his feet, he's still dangerous. And then he's like, his fight with Bud in this is classic because he's just beating on Bud like crazy, and then Bud just hits him once.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna be mighty sorry he isn't dead.
Bud getting burned with like a fucking red hot iron. Yeah, you imagine people bringing their kids to this? Like, it's like a fucking horror movie.
I know. I watched it as a kid.
This is no time to...
Because I remember watching this after I watched the other movies. Get it?
Yep.
So you're like, this is
Same
not
here.
fun. This is not as funny as I thought it would have been.
Yes, exactly.
Come on, get up.
Because I like you, like most people, you know, just knew like the happy funny Bud Spencer, Terence Hill. You know, I mean, these three movies, they are very much buddy movies, but they're not slapstick comedies. They're still proper spaghetti westerns. And but yeah, look at this. You can tell here they took like the old poster and look what they did to his eyes. Look what they did to Terence Hill's eyes to try and like make him look goofy.
Yeah.
I just love that.
And it's an obvious touch up,
isn't it? Yeah. Oh man, I would love to have that poster on my wall. It's funny as shit.
I think I just found a movie I've never seen of him.
Which is
Aladdin.
Oh, that's just Solo Bud. Yeah, he plays a genie.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh yeah.
I've seen Banana Joe. I've seen all of them, even like
Banana Joe.
I've seen Bomber. I've seen the one where he was the alien.
Oh,
with the kid,
the satellite kid. Yeah, the sheriff and the satellite kid. Because I'm the sheriff. Oh, he's the sheriff. Yeah.
Dude, I'm going through these movies and I'm like, I've seen all of them. I'm like, what the fuck? He played in Aladdin? And I'm like,
that's an American movie too.
Hmm.
Yeah. So he did do some American films. I mean, his accent is like thick. Thick as a big old salami.
I was like, I'm gonna go and count how many movies he made. Fuck you, guys. Go check it yourself.
Yeah, man.
There's a lot.
Yes. Together they
now. I'm not kidding. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's like 12 for every shot. So I click 5 times, and I'm still in Bud Spencer movies.
Nice.
I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, he was in a lot. Yeah. And so was Terence Hill.
Yeah.
They did 18 movies together, which is, when you think of it, that's insane. That's a lot of movies.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, they were very much in demand. One of the stories that I always thought was really kind of touching was they've heard that they were very popular in Brazil. So they decided to go down there to promote whatever their new movie was.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't leave the hotel. They couldn't leave the hotel because the fans were just jammed up in at the entrance of the hotel and the back doors. They could not get out of the hotel.
Oh, dude, I remember when they came here once. It was fucking insane.
Oh, that must have been crazy. Was that when you were a kid?
Yep.
Oh,
I was really young, and there was no way. Like it was fucking hard to go see them.
Oh man, I can imagine. What's his face? David Hasselhoff complains. Oh yeah, Bud had the Flatfoot movies. Those are really good. He plays a cop in Napoli and Naples, where Bud Spencer is actually from. And what's great about that character is that he's a cop, but he's only concerned with serious crime. So if you're just like a pickpocket or like a drug addict or somebody that's like a non-violent, like petty criminal, he'll let you go every time. And that way he builds up this rapport with that part of the criminal underworld. And so they've always got his back and they're always dropping information for him and shit. Flatfoot in Africa is really good. And then I think there's Flatfoot in Egypt and then Flatfoot in Hong Kong. Those movies are great. If you haven't seen the Flatfoot series, definitely check those out.
Flatfoot in Africa. Yeah, I remember the Double Trouble was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Double Trouble, if I'm not
We're
mistaken,
Mad.
that's the one they meet like two other guys that are exactly like them.
Yes. Yeah, they're twins. They're doppelgangers. Watch Out, We're Mad is definitely a favorite. I love that one. All the Way Boys. Oh man, this is just seriously, when I'm in like a really foul mood or horribly depressed, those are the movies that I go to that like basically pull me out of it every single time. And what can I say when you have people that are making movies that have that effect, you're going to have a great deal of affection for them, for sure. And they got a lot of love. David Hasselhoff was complaining about the fact that he wasn't getting enough attention at the Berlin Museum. It was like the museum of like the Berlin Wall.
Why?
Because like he showed up when the Berlin Wall was coming down and was like doing this song, I'm something about freedom, and he had like this light up jacket, and he was like, I went there and didn't have anything about me. I'm like, dude, respect because you're the Hoff and shit, but people were not going crazy when David Hasselhoff showed up. You know who they went crazy over when he showed up? Bud Spencer. It's Bud Spencer.
Oh, dude, it's sad that how he's technically got forgotten, you know?
Oh, he'll never be forgotten. He'll never be forgotten. Yeah, in America, but I mean, the Americans never even really knew who he was, right? The rest of the world, though, that dude's freaking immortal.
He was the inspiration for the Kingpin.
Oh, was he really?
Like the big guy grabs the dude. Come on, he grabs the guy by the hand. Like he was the first one that everybody thinks he's big, fat. They start punching him in the gut. He's like,
"Oh shit, it's all muscle."
Punches slaps the guy to like 2 tables away. Yeah, come on. I'm pretty sure like the entire idea of Kingpin came to the guy because like I'm gonna do a big fucking evil Bud Spencer.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a type. There are people like that. Sorry,
but he was the original 6 foot like big mother bearer fucker. Like
yeah, man. Did you ever play the video game Slaps and Beans?
Well, I don't think so.
Oh, you got to get that shit. They're working on the follow up. They're working on the sequel. Actually, right now they had like a Kickstarter campaign and everything. You could probably get it on like Steam for like $10 or something. Let me see if I can find the trailer for that because it's fucking awesome. What's great is they got all the music, so they had as you're playing the game and you're going through levels that are based on movies, they have like the song from the movie for that level. And most of the music for their movies, of course, made by the DeAngelis brothers, Fabrizio, and I forget who the other DeAngelis brother is.
I'll say it again. It's a fucking bitch that's what he looked like in Lucky Luke as well.
Yes. And Lucky Luke actually directed by the guy who did the Subspecies vampire movies, which are a hell of a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. La 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 la. He who finds a friend finds a treasure. Remember, like the Leather Queens?
Mm. Yeah.
Not one of their better movies.
It was like Terence Hill and Bud Spencer do America.
Yeah.
Comedy, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Miami Super Cops. That's a good one. Terence could do all this acrobatic shit, right? And then Bud has to take the elevator. That's a great one right there. Hey! How fucking awesome is that, man? Hey! Yeah, that's from Watch Out, We're Mad. Most of these movies are on. They got some on Tubi. There's a bunch of them also on
YouTube directly.
YouTube, of course. Also, I think Amazon Prime has a bunch of them. Yeah, everybody. If you've never seen any Bud Spencer, Terence Hill movies, they're fucking great.
Yep.
But yeah, one of the things that's great about Terence Hill was he was one of those dudes Giuliano Jamo was like this too.
Yeah, come on. They're also the inspiration for what's his name? Archer and Armstrong from Valiant Comics. It's totally Bud Spencer and Terence Hill.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's what it is. 100% their power set is Terence Hill and fucking Bud Spencer.
Oh man, I would love to do a Bud Spencer Terence Hill comic. I know the characters I would have for them.
It's the reason why I bought the goddamn series too.
Yeah, no, I mean it's awesome.
Did you ever read them?
Yeah, back in the Disney.
But when they did the 2012 relaunch, it was even more Terence Hill and Bud Spencer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Armstrong was the guy that's drinking all the time, just trying to be cool, relax, leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
And the other one is the little bright, little, church going, straight arrow, annoying little fucking smart mouth. So always gets in fucking trouble, and the other one's an immortal. So he just, yeah. It's literally Bud Spencer and Terence Hill in comic book.
Oh, that's fucking amazing. Yeah, I mean, because I think I've read the early ones. But not the.
I never got into the early ones. That's why I make sure to tell you the 2012 relaunch. Dude, I bought almost the full series.
Oh, I gotta get that shit
until 2016. Yeah.
I definitely need to check that out. Then there was a movie called The Nice Guys with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. And I haven't seen that yet, but supposedly that's very Spencer and Hill inspired. There was somebody in the audience at a press junket or something like that, and one of them said, "Bud Spencer, Terence Hill," and what's his face? Russell Crowe pointed to the guy in the audience. Is "Yep, you got it." I haven't seen that though, but yeah. Keeping the spirit alive. Oh yeah, a lot of recognizable spaghetti actors in this. There's this guy, Louis Barbeau. That's this guy right here. You might also, if you've ever seen Conan the Barbarian, the 1982 movie with Schwarzenegger. He's he plays Conan's slave master, the guy who puts him in the gladiator pit. And he always had like this really, he was always making these funny faces. He's also in a lot of Jess Franco movies. But yeah, let me see if I can find a little piece of footage here of Terence Hill pulling off some of his trademark cat-like maneuvers. I mean, it's not subtle that Cat Stevens is a very cat-like character. Let me see. Where is that?
Okay, could not find one copy.
Oh, really?
It's probably in the kids' little library, because sometimes Logan used to take some of my Valiant because he was catching reading them.
Yeah.
Because right now I have all my Valiant, Exo, Man of War, and all that, but the Archer and Armstrong are not there. I'm like,
Exo Man of War, the reboot of that was so fucking good.
Oh, dude, I'm not fucking kidding. Like, I stopped buying mainstream a long time ago. The only thing I went back to mainstream back then was when Ethan did the return of Green Lantern.
Oh, yeah,
Rebirth. Yeah. That got me in. Like, I went to check back in. Yeah. But me, it's Valiant. Like, somebody got me into Valiant that when anyways, guy with a weird name, fucking awesome guy though. The editor that relaunched the entire Valiant line back in 2012, and some people made me read the new relaunch of Exo Man of War, Bloodshot, and good. Eternal Warrior, and I was like, dude, this is so fucking good.
I know.
I was a fucking hardcore Valiant comic fan, dude. I did 2 covers for them. I have that lithograph I showed you.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Like, I love fucking Valiant. I wanted to do fucking comics for them, but then they went full weird in 2016.
Yeah, they sure did. But
the thing that people don't know also is that there was a sleazy takeover of the company, and Danish, because it's only their last name. I can't remember how to pronounce, but Danish was the guy that started it all. And there was a power grab, like multiple companies had shares, and they were all owned by Sony.
Oh, that sucks.
And that's how Sony got control of everything.
Oh, because they saw it as an IP farm.
Yep.
Right, because it's just like, well, we want the Valiant universe.
Yep.
Right.
So that's why they got screwed over. That we got the Bat of the Sun, Ninjak versus Valiant. And that for some reason nobody can really see as much anymore. And a very shitty Bloodshot movie. Because I'm sorry, it was. I
never watched that. I never even bothered.
It's a fun watch, but it's like it's just Vin Diesel. You get my drift?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it could have been very fucking cool, but they didn't. I don't know.
It seemed to me, just the impression that I had. I didn't see it, so I can't pass judgment on it.
It's like Ghost in the Shell. If you know Ghost in the Shell, the movie or the manga, you know the entire premise. It's the puppet master. It's an AI that becomes sentient and can hack anybody. It's not about the ex-lover of fucking,
Right. It's like in other words, it's like it could even be good for what it is, but it's not that original thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a completely different story, different.
So
character.
You would have made something else. Like it's more in the line of there's another anime that was similar to this, that the actual story of, oh, we were rebellious and we got arrested, and then they turned one into a good guy and one into a bad guy. It's another manga. It's a total other manga that right now it's anyways. Ghost in the Shell is not Ghost in the Shell, and that's the same thing that I feel with the other movie.
No, that's a good analogy. Yeah, I mean, the impression that I got from just what I saw of like the Bloodshot trailer and everything was that it seemed like it was the IP was in the hands of people that didn't know what it was or didn't know what to do with it.
But technically, it's Fast and the Furious. But if Vin Diesel had superpowers,
oh God, yeah, I mean,
because they don't really have instead of being the Secret Service that he works for. Right. It's another Secret Service where they have like military amputees with special prosthetic that gives them powers. Right. So it has nothing to do with the comic book.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And that is a cool premise, but then call it something else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, but once again, but then it's, they need the IP.
And why they didn't even put him?
Man.
They didn't even give him all the white skin. And I'm not talking about pink white. I'm talking about white.
Right. Like white.
White
like
with the red on
white.
the fucking chest that he can't take off.
Yep. Well, I mean, so the character's called Bloodshot. They got rid of like that big red dot on his chest.
Yep.
Oh, God damn it, man. This is what I'm talking about, right? It's just like the one thing that makes the character instantly recognizable. Yeah, let's get rid of that.
But you know why? I've pointed out multiple times. I was talking with Margin the other day about it. It's quite simple.
Yeah.
The reason why they do that for every fucking IP that they take, they make it a little change because they create their own little stamp of the copyright IP in there. So it's their own version of the IP. By making it a change, it's not an actual adaptation, so they don't have to pay as much to the creator, the actual creator, and they have their own copyright that if people copy them, they get full of money. So if you go make a movie of Spider-Man right now, and he can actually spin web from his actual wrist, well, you might have to answer to Sam Raimi.
Right.
And that actually,
Yeah, it's just
even
terrible.
if you have the okay of Marvel.
Right. It's so fucking stupid.
But that's how it is. But that's how they create the thing. And I understood it a long time ago when I started researching public domain.
Yeah. And also how they'll change characters to like renew the copyright.
So that's the thing I was telling you when we discussed about the idea of doing one of those that we discussed there.
Right.
And I'm like, we need to be very fucking careful because there was a comic book adaptation that they did. And if we do this, we need to stay the fuck away from it and create our own little changes by respecting what we wanted to respect from the movie. And it would be even better if we can get the okay from the actual creator.
Oh, for sure. And also that would just be awesome. First of all, as a sign of respect, and then also
bragging points on the campaign.
Right.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah, hell yeah. Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. Now I'm trying to get this shot of
approved by the original creator.
Yeah, I mean that can't hurt. That would be And
the funny thing is it was meant to be a spaghetti western. You know what the IP we're talking about?
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's clearly Yeah, I mean, it's clearly has a lot of Western tropes, but then again, so does Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Even one of the characters is actually a cowboy. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And the cantina sequence and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was funny, even though it was not well, I'm gonna say orchestrated. There you go.
Well, a lot of rubber masks, and then they actually like that severed arm shot. They put that in there to get the movie a PG rating, because it had a G rating before that.
Yeah, and they had to tone it down because they were gonna get an R2. So that is.
Yeah, it's just like either one being, well, I wouldn't say the kiss of death, but yeah, watch Terence Hill here. I mean, man, this is because this is a guy who was cut from the same mold as guys like Bertha Lancaster and Kirk Douglas. These guys that were real chads that could do like their own stunts and shit. Like, this is not a stunt man. This is all Terence Hill right here.
It's not just that. It's like, I don't understand why I should have to do this. Just get a stuntman. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're paid. If you can't do it, you do it. If you can't, well, get somebody else.
Yeah, stop being a pussy.
It's like, dude, that's why you're getting paid all that fucking money to play a fucking role. You're playing pretend and getting paid more money than an actual guy that builds houses.
I know.
Shut the fuck up.
I know. That's why even
it's like Hugh McTerman complaining, they forced me to drive a car. I'm like, fuck off, drive that car.
Right. Oh, poor you. They're not paying you enough to do donuts. It's like shut up. Yeah, that shit's crazy. I can never understand that. And this is why also
you don't have to do this. Well, you don't have to be acting neither. There's a lot of people that want your spot. Move the fuck along.
Exactly. This is why, even though I know he's a total fucking weirdo, but and I'm not really a fan, although it's not that he's a bad actor, but Tom Cruise, I respect the fact that that guy actually does his own stunts, at least as many as he can.
Mm-hmm.
And will actually be fucking, hanging
Guy
off
jumps
a
off fucking planes and shit.
Yeah. That's pretty
I'm sorry,
bad.
but that you're supposed to be. You're playing a role. You're not just there to pose and get the fucking gratification. Oh, look, I'm a badass, right? Look at all the action scene. You didn't even can do one. It's like that fucking cunt that played Captain Marvel.
Yes. Oh my God, she's the worst, man. Brie Larson, charisma.
Yeah, like she was taking credit for everything, and I like the fact that there's some of the friends that called her out about. You mean you're stunt woman?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're working on getting rid of her for after the Marvels, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, is anybody gonna go fucking see that piece of shit?
It's like a guy that would come in and goes, "Look, I got the role for Lucky Luke, but I refuse to shoot guns. I hate guns." And I'm like,
or ride horses. Right. Or ride horses.
Fuck off. No, you get on that fucking horse and you ride it like you fucking belong there. Fuck you.
Right. Yeah, it's
like otherwise you're not getting the role. Get the fuck out. Like, I'm sorry, I don't. It's the entire thing in Hollywood, the entitlement of the poser now. There's not even acting. There's not even a job anymore.
I know.
It's worse than fucking being a YouTuber.
Right. Well, like that's one of the things I really respected about like the Japanese.
They don't even try to act anymore. They just read lines and pose.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, that's what I loved about like the Japanese action movie stars, like from the 70s, 80s, guys like Sonny Chiba. They actually went and learned martial arts because they were like, well, let's actually learn martial arts.
That's what Jason Statham did.
And it'll look badass. Yeah, exactly.
You didn't know martial arts. He learned fucking martial arts. Look at The One. That's when he started.
Yep. I love the transporter.
He met Jet Li. Okay, he has a fucking great guy to train him, but fuck.
Yep. Yes.
Did you see Statham after that in fucking Transporter?
Yes.
Holy fucking
I know.
Shit.
I know. Corey Ewan,
that's like John Wick. Take notes.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the things I
Statham was
also.
John Wick before John Wick was John Wick. I'm sorry.
Yes, no, that's true. But I mean, that's one of the things I respect about Keanu too. Is the guy's like pushing 60, and still doing these fight scenes. And he's a guy that once he learned martial arts for the Matrix movies, never stopped. He directed a martial arts movie called Man of Tai Chi, which is quite good.
All had fucking intense, heavy, fucking martial art training like crazy too. Yeah,
right.
Was insane.
Right, and it's just like. Like the Sonny Chiba principle. It's just like, well, let's actually learn martial arts. Why? Because it'll look awesome. That's why.
Uh-huh.
So
then now they don't want to do any effort. I just need to show that and show my tits and show my big fat ass.
Yeah. Well, look, man. These
and they all talk like strippers. I don't know. It's weird.
They kind of do. Like every sentence ends in a question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a great scene where Bud and Terence are beating the piss out of each other, and he just like Terence is just unloading on Bud, and then Bud hits him once with a hammer blow, and down he goes. It's like Bud only needs to hit you once.
Enough.
Yeah. He only
the lying in the cub thing. It's the common trope of like I said, the daddy or the big brother. So it's kind of like the little brother that goes, I can't, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. Poof.
Yep.
Oh, we're done here.
Yep. No, I had an older brother. I know that game for sure. Dude, do you want to show these nice people the Tales from the Navarus? Shall we take a look at your page before we peace out?
If you want.
Yeah, man. So everybody, go check out God Forgives, I Don't. Link is below in the description where you can watch the movie 100% for free with commercials, but not so many that'll make you just say fuck it and turn the damn thing off. Oh, you can also. I think the link that I have in the description is a YouTube. I mean, not that you don't need not that there aren't commercials on YouTube too, but for some reason, if I have like a Tubi link, people don't want to click on that. They're much more quicker to click on a YouTube link. So yeah, dude, tell everybody what this is and why they should.
Chat at the same time. Sorry.
No, please, no.
So yeah, it's also an adverse too. It's 116 page. I'd say anthology, but it's more a collection of 4 books in one. So it's 116 page. All the pages are done in black and white. I'm just waiting for colors to be done, the lettering, and I just finished the entire 20-page ashcan.
Hell yeah!
And that ashcan is limited, signed, numbered, and comes with a sketch in it. So it's totally worth the $20 that comes with it. And it's only for the campaign, and I'm not going to be overprinting by much, just a little bit. And you got 16 days left to go grab that and the mini Nat bullet case minifigure, which is only available there. It's the prototype of something that I'm trying to put together. And I'm only printing enough for the people that back it, and we're done. I'm not doing it again, that model. So go check it out. You have a lot of samples. You get introduced to Luani, and you get more Nat. So you definitely want to go get it. So 116 page. I'm just waiting on the colors to be done and lettering, and it should be out by July.
Yeah, check that out, people. Go check it out. Sim is the real deal, and he always delivers. And he not only always delivers, he delivers quality. Oh, you want to show that? All right, hell yeah.
And please go back it, because right now we just passed, like, if we add the first campaign and the second campaign together, we're just a little bit over the 10K. So we passed the 10K, and I would like to beat my record so far. So let's get this over 12K. So please, let's try and get at least a second chance campaign to at least $5,000, which would make me break my little record.
Hell yeah, man!
Which would be greatly appreciated. And with the raise in pricing and shipping and stuff like that, I would really appreciate to make a little bit of money on this one. Ouch!
I hear that, man. I hear that.
I went from making money to not making money with the raising of everything. You're like, fuck.
It's brutal. It's brutal out there, man. Well,
yeah, the color printing went up crazy. The black and white stayed in the same way. That's why I've been thinking of maybe taking a bit more adventure with black and white soon.
And also, of course, shipping's gone up. I mean, once we're about to go to war with China. I guess once that happens, then the prices are going to go even higher.
Well, not just that. Let's just say the Inkslayer crew is growing, and
yes, it is.
The more we grow, the more that's not going to be as much of a problem anymore.
Yeah, man.
Because right now, we can do like from between 15 to 18 between the U.S. and Canada, because we all help each other by shipping and fulfillment.
Fuck yeah.
It's one of the things but we're going to be checking into another avenue. Like, that's why I'm testing the print on demand for Blood Hunt #1. So if you go on the InkSlayerEntertainment.com right now, we have the first book over there that's print on demand, and the quality is pretty solid. I showed Brian, I showed it on stream before. So don't hesitate, go check it out. And I can also offer it for $15.99 US.
Yep. And you get quality, and you get a nice thick book. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not getting like a little 24 page pamphlet.
But that's what we're trying not to do. And the Inkslayer project is back on track, and the idea is to try and have it ready to go to launch by the end of the year, so it can be out by next year. And the idea is to have multiple little floppies in there with all different IPs from everybody that's in the Inkslayer.
Hell yeah!
So
and of course,
it's like a heavy metal with no ads.
Yeah. How cool is that? And heavy metal that's actually heavy metal, as opposed to like the Mark Waid, Alex DeCampi version. And of course, folks, you're looking at the latest Inkslayer, the latest member of the Inkslayer crew. Very
with me, Scotsman, Preston, and Beacon.
Yeah, man. Very, very proud to be to join in. To be joining these fine gentlemen and great creators. Frankie's like, come along with me in my buggy. Yeah, oh dude, in the game Slaps and Beans, there's a mini game where you're like driving around like in a little stock car, like trying to like win the buggy, and you hear that song playing. It's fucking awesome.
Okay, want me to run the trailer?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Hello, my name is Sim, and welcome to the Netverse.
Hell yeah.
And right
Fucking
now,
awesome.
the first 200 backers of the physical book gets a sketch card with their book. So it's kind of like getting free shipping. I don't understand why people are complaining about my shipping. I don't know why.
Oh man, sketch cards are the shit, man. I love those. I mean, getting an original piece of art with your book, I don't think you could beat that. I don't think you can beat that. That's the fucking coolest thing.
And to me, doing a sketch card is not that long, and to me, it's kind of my way of saying thank you and compensating for people paying for that, shipping, and the people from Canada paying for that,
Yeah, because we do not like having to charge people, like, in some countries, like $28 for shipping.
I got charged anywhere between 20 to 35, dude.
Oh man, yeah.
Every time I freaking back a book from it's always between 20 to 35.
And we're right next door. And we're right next door too. That's the thing that's really fucking bullshit.
Hashtag blame 9/11.
Yeah. Thank you. No, it's totally true.
Anything. If you go back before there, I could go move next to you without a fucking problem. I didn't even need a fucking, immigration or anything. I just had to fucking go. Hey, reserve that apartment next to you. I'm coming.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, now basically, they're turning the world into a prison. So
I told you. I told everybody a long time ago. The first crime they did is divide us, bros.
Yep. Absolutely. Without a fucking doubt. I've always believed that.
It was always like people were seeing America. America was the United States and Canada. It was the West. It was the entire fucking thing.
Yeah, it's North America.
But 9/11.
Yep. No, I know. Fucked everything up. And I tried telling people back then, when we were being stripped of all our civil liberties, it's just like, like they're telling you this is temporary, but when you lose those rights, you don't get them back.
No, and then you see the entire world, people turning into like, fuck them guys. Like me seeing a whole bunch of people here hating Americans and stuff like that, and because because I'm too Americans for them, they don't like me so much, and I'm like, well, fuck you, suck my dick.
Oh, these fucking barriers, man. That's the shit that we need.
Yeah, but it's fucking stupid. But
it's retarded.
That's what the entire division is. It's like, dude,
it's purpose.
It's one of the things I was telling. It's like you guys some of you guys in the U.S. hate the other guy in another state because he has a different accent. I'm not, I'm joking around.
Yeah. Dude, no, I'm in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in New York. When I was living in the city, for instance, I knew people from the South that went to see speech therapists to get rid of their Southern accent.
Yep. Because otherwise they get laughed at. It's the same thing with fucking.
They think that they're racist, or they think they're stupid, or inbred, or some shit like that. Yeah, a lot
here, people in Canada hate Quebec because they're French. For no other reason than they're French. And it's the same exact thing on the other side, and I think it's fucking ridiculous.
And this is why we need art. and why we need to knock down those borders and learn to enjoy each other's art, because that is something that transcends borders and knocks them down too.
I remember I promoted something and I wrote it in French followed by English, and I tweeted it in one of the French groups of comic books in Quebec.
Yeah.
And one of the main comments the guy made is, why you trying to stop translating in English? The English don't care about French. Well, they don't care. Like, it's like, well, I don't know. What the fuck's your point? They don't care. Obviously, they won't care
for me.
Like, obviously, they won't care if they can't understand what the fuck you're saying, you cunt.
No shit.
And, you know, it's like, hey, like me while I tell you to go fuck yourself. It doesn't work.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
It just doesn't fucking work.
Yeah. See, this is
like
why...
it's like fuck you, but love me.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I always say, like, this is why, like, I could give a rat's ass about K-pop, but the fact that it's popular here in the United States, I think is awesome. The fact that manga is popular here in the United States is awesome, right? It's just now, like, Americans need to discover stuff like French comic books, and, you know, we all need to, like, be exposed to each other's art. The world's gotten fucking so much smaller thanks to the internet.
America discovered French comic books in the 60s. That's why you got all those sci-fi movies, because they ripped them all off.
Yeah, and heavy metal. Yeah,
that's the thing. That's why they founded heavy metal. They got ripped off a whole fucking much.
Yep. No, that's true.
Yeah,
that's for sure. That's for sure. All right. I guess we're gonna end the stream. And folks, want to thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Six Gun Gorilla.
Yeah, and go check out Six Gun Gorilla. Link below in the description. And we will see you next week. Which movie am I going to be doing? I don't know. I'll figure it out. If you have any suggestions, you can always drop them below.
Lucky Lou with Terence Hill.
Yeah, yeah.